everyone's going to be very sad when that happens. I'm like, oh, so you mean they haven't fixed the transactions? And the guy sent me a log of all these transactions that didn't go through. I'm like, but they told me they fixed that. So they lied. And then you have the problem of the increasing supply. From the last time Solana was $265 or whatever to today at just over 100, we've increased the supply by 100 million tokens.
Mark Yusko is an American investor and hedge fund manager. He is the founder, chief investment officer, and managing director of Morgan Creek Capital Management, an investment firm that advises pension funds, endowments, and wealthy individuals. Mark shares inside knowledge with us about why Bitcoin is not just another cryptocurrency, but a trailblazer leading the charge in this digital revolution. By the end of this video, you will see that crypto does not work in your best interest, while Bitcoin does.
Bitcoin is an institutional asset, but it also is, if you believe this as I do, if Bitcoin is the new base layer of money, right? Base layer of money, which is what gold has been for 5,000 years. Every central bank buys gold, puts it as the base layer, then they issue debt on top of that as currency. And then we all use credit cards and loans. And so you build this stack of quote unquote money, but the only real money, right, an asset that exists in the absence of a liability, is the base layer. As Bitcoin replaces that, okay, because think about it, what people are talking about, people aren't talking about, oh, I'm going to put all my money in the Bitcoin ETF. They're talking about 1% or 2%, right? What is that? That's a gold allocation. How much gold does the average, even if you actually boomer, I don't know, 3, 4%? It's not like they have 40% in gold. It's not like they have 50% in gold. And why do you have any? Well, it's my hedge. Okay. Hedging instruments are small allocations that have asymmetric upside potential in untoward outcomes, right? Hyperinflations, recessions, whatever. Why do people own gold? They own gold because it outperforms in times of difficulty, right? It zigs when everything else zags, and it over time accretes value because it holds its value relative to the asset you price it in, right? An ounce of gold is always an ounce of gold. Always. But we don't price it in gold, right? We price it in dollars or yen or euros. Same thing with Bitcoin. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's just a digital form of this beautiful asset that existed for 5,000 years, where the stock, the amount that exists relative to the flow, the amount that's created new every year versus what's lost or stolen, is pretty low. So the stock to flow ratio is very high. Bitcoin actually now is higher. And so in that world, it's exactly as you described. Bitcoin is kind of like I have some, it's my hedge against disaster. It's my FU money, my run-in money, whatever you want to call it, and institutions, the big ones, central banks, are going to start buying it. And then ultimately it displaces gold in a digital world as we move completely from analog to digital, and everything's digital, which I think is going to be the case. In that world, that is the base layer. And then all this other tech stuff. And whether it's Ethereum, and now you got the Solana people saying, oh, look, ours is much better. And it's so funny because I have I'm of two minds of this. I believed what the people told me, that Solana had fixed their problems. And the price says they have. And I've been talking to some other people saying, are you freaking crazy? No, this is just a pump and dump. This is a bunch of people pumping the stock. I mean, that's not pumping Sol so that they can liquidate the FTX bag, and everyone's going to be very sad when that happens. I'm like, oh, so you mean they haven't fixed the transactions? And the guy sent me a log of all these transactions that didn't go through. I'm like, but they told me they fixed that. So they lied. And then you have the problem of the increasing supply. From the last time Solana was $265 or whatever to today at just over 100, we've increased the supply by 100 million tokens. Wait a second. So I think ultimately tech wins, and where the developers develop, which ain't close. Ethereum is like 89% of developer activity. I think that's the number. If Ethereum didn't exist today and was just invented, would anyone use it? Given the price difference between Solana and Ethereum, well, based on price, no, but based on efficiency, effectiveness, and stability, yes, because arguably Solana is not fixed. Now, the Solana people can tell me I'm wrong, but multiple people have said no, it's not fixed. That if Michael's selling shares to buy more Bitcoin, personally, it's because he sees the writing on the wall that the valuation of that business is extreme. It's like all the cloud companies, all the software companies, they're wildly overvalued on a price to earnings ratio. So, but he's a great arbitrageur. He really is. Now, you could argue that, well, maybe he gets on the wrong side of the arbitrage or whatever. But he is a great arbitrageur, and he's done this multiple times. People forget this is not the first time Michael Saylor has reinvented MicroStrategy and pumped the stock to the moon. He went from 3 to 330, despite all the people shorting it, and then he restarted and ran the software business for a long time, and then he had the epiphany. There's a show on the epiphany. He had his epiphany, and he talks about it, literally having the epiphany that Bitcoin was this thing. And now, and it really works, right? I mean, the epiphany is this religious, celebration. He is almost a religious figure in the Bitcoin world, right? But in the new age, Bitcoin does have the potential, and I'm not here yet, but I hear people who speak this way. It could be the only asset, right? That you need, right? It becomes this self-sustaining asset that everyone converts their fiat into, and the idea of the ownership of other assets starts to diminish as they get tokenized. And I don't know. I don't think it actually works, but I'll acknowledge that it's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That interesting history versus what's happening now. And to your point on when the deficits start running out of control at a time when, if we're having this incredible prosperity, right? They're telling us we have this, the greatest economy ever. I mean, that's been actually said in the last 12 months, not the greatest economy ever, but okay. If that were true, then we'd be going the other way. Like, not that I don't want to make this about people, but in the Clinton era, when he happened to be president for that period of time, we came really close to eliminating debt, right? We had surpluses, right? We had surpluses and debt was going the other direction. There was a legitimate discussion by, reasonable people that literally the world was going to end, right? And you needed this preparation. And what people forget too, part of the reason for the huge bull market in equities in 1999 leading up into the first quarter of 2000, it was the Fed pumped $500 billion, back when $500 billion was a lot. I mean, they printed $500 billion and pumped it in to try to help to counteract all this negative stuff that was going to happen when the electric grid shut down. And it turns out when that didn't happen, everyone was like, well, all that money, stocks got to go up. There wasn't a word stonk back then, but the message boards were, and that's when Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy went like this, and all the shorts were getting obliterated. I mean, Michael, it was the famous letter, right? You should read the famous letter from Julian Robertson at the end of March 2000 when he shut down Tiger. I can't understand why people are buying these things at these prices and selling assets at pennies on the dollar, like airlines and had he stayed, here's the crazy thing. He shut down in March. By the end of that year, the market was down 9%. Everyone was leaving. Everyone was quitting. And that's, again, human beings do two things really well. We buy what we wish we would have bought, and we sell what we're about to need.
Mark Yusko articulated why Bitcoin, often referred to as the gold standard of digital currencies, reigns supreme among its crypto counterparts. His analysis centered on several key attributes that elevate Bitcoin above all other cryptocurrencies. First and foremost, he highlighted Bitcoin's unparalleled scarcity, a feature hard-coded into its design with a fixed limit of 21 million coins. This scarcity mirrors the properties of precious metals and stands in stark contrast to the limitless supply of many other digital currencies, thereby reinforcing Bitcoin's value proposition. Yusko also underscored Bitcoin's inability to be changed in any way. This severing of all human intervention in monetary policy is what will create Bitcoin's everlasting role in our society. Its established network has not only stood the test of time, but continues to grow stronger. Its decentralized nature, combined with robust security protocols, has instilled a level of trust and reliability unmatched in the crypto world. Mark Yusko's argument was clear. If one is to venture into the realm of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin should be the singular choice. If you want to watch another podcast recap, try this playlist here. Thanks for tuning into our channel today. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this every week. We'll see you next time.